It's the week of Rhinebeck. How is everybody? Yes, we are here. It's the weekend of the New York Sheep and Wool Festival 2020, all virtual, but still it's been a lot of fun. I'm taping this video a little bit later in the week because I wanted to wait until all of my events were over so I could just chat about them a little bit. I hope that everyone is safe and well in whatever you're doing, and I hope that you were able to check out the festival on some level. There was the marketplace, there were demonstrations, there were lectures, there were classes, and we're gonna talk about my experience, and I would love to hear about your experience and what you felt, and if you learned anything or gotten anything exciting or neat, or if your knitting world or perspective was changed in any way. Let's have a festival chat. So the festival ran really from Thursday to Sunday with classes. So on Thursday night, I took a beaded kumihamo class, which is basically Japanese corded, almost like looming. And I have an example of it right here in front of me. I know it's not knitting. I thought with the festival, it would be nice to branch out and experience some different crafts. This one is really not fiber related at all, but it was a lot of fun. Essentially, there we go. You got your bobbins, you got your cord, your thread, and then you have your loom. And basically by adjusting the cords, and it's very hard with the angle that I'm at, is how you make this necklace. And the way it can relate to yarn or fiber is you can get bigger looms, or I could even use this loom and use very thin yarn. My goal would be, at the suggestion of the instructor, but it is actually a really good suggestion, is to take some lace weight or fingering weight yarns, scraps, and try to use the loom and see what type of cords or necklaces, bracelets I can make. I didn't have enough time in class to finish the necklace, but it is a work in progress. So it was actually a lot of fun. It was a little bit intimidating initially to get everything set up, but once I could grasp what I was doing, I felt more confident, and it's pretty relaxing to just sit there and you can watch TV and make it. And it was a really nice class. As a little accessory or an extra project, the instructor sent us, just to further drive home the point of using different textiles and fabrics and yarns. So these are 3 different yarns she included. That was my beaded kumihamo class. It was a lot of fun, and I know it's not knitting related, so excuse me, but I will be showing off this finished object once it's done, just to give you an idea. My second class, well, before my second class, there was the virtual Show Us Your Rhinebeck Sweater meetup on Friday afternoon, and that was a lot of fun. There were 100 people. It was via Zoom, and everyone got together with the organizers of the festival, and everyone had their moment to shine and stand up and show off their knit. And of course I had my spark, and you could talk about what yarn you use, and it was really nice to interact with people from all over the country. And I think there was somebody from Australia too, so that was really nice. Everybody, we had our moments of being a little bit sad together that we are not able to meet in person, but overall it was a pretty connecting and bonding experience to be able to all share what we have done together and laugh and have fun, and with people I've never met before. So that was a great experience. It was an hour long. My second class was on Saturday night, and this class was about felting, and it was not wet felting. So I did learn a lot about felting, obviously, because I took the class. It was a great introductory course. The name of the course was Easy Peasy Norwal Felting. That's probably not the exact verbiage, but you get the idea. The appeal when I was registering for classes was I felt like by the end of the class I would have a finished project, and that's exactly what I had. So for the 2-hour time slot that it was, I was able to learn about felting, learn about different techniques, and work through this very beginner project, but at the end of it have something that was done and the instructor was awesome. She's from the Felted Dog, which is a shop in Colorado. She does sell kits. She sent enough supplies to make 2 more narwhals and also to make a turtle. Here we go, a little turtle. So I thought that was really nice. And then she just had a lot of great ideas of ways to get started felting, beginner projects. And it was very worthwhile for an introductory course. So that was my 3rd class, was called Knitting Your Best Sweater Ever. Obviously, you could probably ascertain that it was about measurements and how to, it was very specifically geared towards knitting darts, or for women with bigger busts, how to accommodate sweaters for that. I learned a lot about how to look at a pattern and read it for your measurements, and how to take your measurements and determine what would be the best size for you to knit. I do feel like most of the class wasn't super applicable to me because I don't have the issue with the bust. But I did, there was a lot of helpful information about sizing in general, and like I said, how to read the pattern, how to figure out based off of your personal measurements what would be the best way to knit the sweater. So I do feel like it was beneficial. There was a lot that may not have applied to me, but there was a lot that applied to me as well. And I also was able to ask some questions about tapering garments to fit the waist better and just overall sizing. The virtual marketplace. I didn't do a lot of shopping because I feel like I've done a lot of shopping just in general over the summer. So I did utilize self-restraint and self-control. It appeared to be interesting. Each of the vendors had live Zoom sessions. You could Zoom right into the shop. Because I wasn't super committed with buying anything, I just didn't want to pop in. I know that's probably very silly, but I just didn't feel the need to pop in and shop live or virtually. This is where you do miss that in-person experience, because it's so nice to go from vendor to vendor and maybe see some of the more independent vendors, and maybe some of the people that aren't as accessible on the web. Being able to see them in person is a great experience, and there's really nothing like it. So that's probably one of the cons. I heard that from other class participants that some of the vendors were having issues with just the technology. This was a big learning curve for everybody. We're adapting to a new way of doing this. The shoppers are adapting to Zoom, the vendors are adapting to doing the Zoom sessions, and the same thing with the instructors. But I would say that overall, everything was pretty seamless. The organizers of the festival should be very proud of themselves. I really feel like they updated their website. They made everything very user-friendly. Once you register for classes, you could log in. You had your event hub. That's where you would log into all your Zoom sessions. No passwords were required. From the technology standpoint, I was just really impressed at how smooth everything was. Even with the shopping with the vendors, it was all set up so you could just click and go. There, you weren't having to look for anything or hunt anything down. So overall, it was a great experience. The idea of the virtual classes really did work, and it worked because you had a variety of teachers who may not have been at Rhinebeck, who were experts at what they did, and they were able to bring more of a variety of topics and engage people from all over the country. So those were the pros of the festival. So I think as always, there were pros and cons. But hopefully next year I will be doing a weekly whip, and I will be showing little snippets of me by the beautiful trees and foliage and eating kettle corn, and we'll be there in person. But that was my little Rhinebeck review. A lot of the teachers that taught these classes are now adapting, and they're gonna start doing online classes. So if anything I talked about was interesting to you, they're all finding ways to teach these classes online and reach more people. So check them out. If you have any questions, let me know. Any comments? Did you take a class? What was your experience in the class? Was it completely different? Did you have a horrible time, great time? Let me know in the comments below. Most importantly, I hope you're all safe, well, and happy knitting.